Hi, just wanted to do a mic check because time is moving forward, slipping into the future. This sounds good to me. Sounds good out there? Okay, good.
Good slipping into the future. All right.
Well, these are for later. Well, this is the invitation to, welcome on one side. Okay.
All right.
Soda's okay with you if I leave these things here?
Yes.
They're not in the way. Okay.
No,
So
I'm
there's
fine.
announcements.
You got it. Good morning, Laura.
Did you look into the chalice fuel? Did you figure this out?
Yeah, I mean, we have enough fuel from last week, remember?
Do you have what you need? You should be.
We had about 2/3. That's kind of the reason, yeah. Most of the time. Yeah, it is, and it's much better.
Thank you, Vince. Good morning. My name is Janet McFarland. I am the president of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to everyone here present in our physical sanctuary and those of you on our sanctuary on Zoom. We have not forgotten you, although we cannot see you. Let's see, we're glad you're here this morning, and we are committed to becoming an intentionally multi-generational, multiracial, multicultural, inclusive, and anti-oppressive religious community. You are welcome here. If you'd like to find out more about the church, we invite you to fill out our Newcomer Connect card, which you can find on the QR code here on this strip that you'll find nearby, or you're welcome to check in at the welcome table in Venti Hall, where we will be having coffee and conversation after the service. Let's see. This summer, like many UU churches, our minister is on leave, and so the service that will be offered today was completely crafted by lay members. Reverend Laurel will return on September 7th to begin the church year. Also, we normally have Emily Stoper here. She is here, who will be giving a little introduction to the church if you'd like to have a 10-minute orientation and ask some questions about the church. Welcome, everyone. Now for the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land and the people, the traditional people of this land, the Lishan Ohlone people. Our church, institutions, and homes are occupying their lands from which they were displaced. We acknowledge that lands were stolen from the Ohlone people who have an ancestral relationship with this land, the plants, the animals, and the water for millennia, continuous to the present day. Ohlone people are still here. In solidarity with all Indigenous people and their right to self-determination, we commit to working toward accountability for the theft and toward being active partners in the healing of the intergenerational trauma which persists to this day. And there is a slide. Oh, this is better. Can you hear me better now? Oh my. Here's the slide. We encourage you to get to know more about the Ohlone people and see how you can become a participant in the healing of this historical trauma. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nancy Henderson, and it's been a joy to be a lay participant in crafting the service this morning. Flame of fire, spark of the universe that warmed our ancestral hearth, agent of life and death, symbol of truth and freedom, we strive to understand ourselves and our earthly home. And together we say, we light this chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. May it remind us of the divine spark in all of creation, the power of love to heal what is broken, and to be grateful for life's blessings each day. With humility, with awareness of the existence of life and of our sufferings that are going on around us, let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. And together we say, peace is possible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. There are some things in our social system to which all of us must be maladjusted. Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that. And in one voice we say, Black Lives Matter. What a joy it is to be in community this morning, lifting up the powers of poetry. And we say together, "Come, let us worship together." Please stand as you're able and join in the singing of hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. Thank you to Jim Scott, for that beautiful hymn. The Poetry Circle gathers every first Sunday of the month before church. All of us who are offering this service today are regulars at the Poetry Circle. Our steadfast leader, Ron Weisberg, sends an email in advance with a suggested topic. Some of our topics have included tenderness, remembrance, the animals, endings. Each month, we have an opportunity to search for a poem that speaks to the topic. Personally, I love the nudge to delve into my books or my computer or the library and read poetry. It is not necessary to bring a poem to read on first Sundays. Listening and being a participant in the Poetry Circle is a joyful way to celebrate community. We generally read each poem twice. Sadly, we don't have time to do that today, so listen up. Then there is a chance for people to express what the poem meant to them. It is a reflective time. It is frequently synchronous. As the poems swirl around in the air, the group experiences sort of a melding of minds and hearts. Often, we are blessed with the reading of an original poem, and we come to know a friend at a deeper level. Occasionally, we set up additional meetings at a chosen coffee shop. The Poetry Circle is an intentional community that generates connection and light. Please feel welcome to come in person or on Zoom. The meetings are held in the library on the 3rd floor. Rachel Naomi Remen is a medical doctor and an author who has led poetry readings and writing groups for people with cancer and their doctors. She says, quote, "Reading a poem aloud and listening to the poems of others can heal the alienation which is so much a part of our world. These days, much in life is masked. Poetry wears no mask. Recovering the poet strengthens the healer and sets free the unique song that is at the heart of every life. Listening creates holy silence. Listening is like the rain." In his book, Poetic Medicine, The Healing Art of Poem Making, John Fox includes a poem written by a participant in one of his writing workshops. It is entitled, "Waiting in Line." When you listen, you reach into dark corners and pull out your wonders. When you listen, your ideas come in and out like they are waiting in line. Your ears don't always listen. It can be your brain, your fingers, your toes. You can listen anywhere. Your mind might not want to go. If you can listen, you can find answers to questions you didn't know. If you have listened, truly listened, you don't find yourself alone. The poet, is Nick Penna, 5th grade. To quote Pablo Picasso, "It takes a long time to become young." In searching for a poem to share that speaks to these times we're living through, I came upon this one, recently written by Allison Luterman. She's a wonderful local poet, essayist, songwriter, and a great writing teacher. It's called "At Albany Bulb with Elaine." Side by side on a log by the bay, sunlight, unleashed dogs, prancing through surf, almost exploding out of their skins with perfect happiness. Dogs who don't know about fired park rangers, or canceled health research, or tariff wars, or the suicide hotline for veterans getting defunded, or. We've listed horror upon horror to each other for weeks now, and it does no good. So instead, I tell her how I held a 2-day-old baby in my arms, inhaling him like a fresh-baked loaf of bread. And then I watched as a sneeze erupted through his body like a tiny volcano. It was the look of pure astonishment on his face, as if he were Adam in the Garden of Eden making his debut achoo. As if it were the first sneeze that ever blew. That got me. Well, she tells me how her dog once farted so loudly, he startled himself and fell off the bed where he'd been lolling. And then the two of us start to laugh so hard, we almost fall off our own log. And this is our resistance for today, remembering original innocence. And they can't take it away from us. Though they ban our very existence, though they slash our rights to ribbons, we will have our mirth and our birthright gladness. Long after every unsold Tesla has vaporized and earth has closed over even the names of these temporary tyrants, somewhere, some women like us will be sitting side by side, facing the water, telling human stories, and laughing still. So now's the time we get to take a few moments to greet one another, maybe share a laugh, or simply enjoy the swirl of community. And please return to your seats when the bell sounds.
I know, I love that. Definitely. Oh. Yes. Yes, and I can't think of anything more Unitarian than I know of. If we have a moment, this is actually, it's poetry.
I told you my mother used to say, Unitarians, they never mention
That sounds accurate on both points, yes. I admit it's prayers, and I did like the, it never occurred to me so I did not know that Rob and Jan, when I first got here, when they used to neo traditionalists, I found that out. Neo-traditionalists by some other people. And I'm like, actually, I think they just put some of the religion back in the religion. And then it's me. And me reading a poem. So.
We will have plenty of time for chatting in Venti Hall following the service.
I feel like this is where you can tell why it's Nancy and I doing this service together as I read poetry in time of war. Rosalind Brackenberry. I want to forget their names, the generals, advisors, puppet rulers, the puffed up and the brought low. I want not to know them, not hear their plans, their excuses, the president and the president's men, the Pope with his white smoke for voodoo, the suits, ties, teeth, insignia, the guns, the names of trucks and weapons. I want to forget them all, to be washed of them, to begin again, where no one knows who anyone is or what he believes. To give my attention to frangipani leaves uncurling, the smell of jasmine, one person helping another across a street, to the seeds, to the beginnings, to one clear word for which there is no disguise and no alternative.
A short poem for our times by poet, farmer, and protector of the land, Wendell Berry. The impeded stream. It may be when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And that when we no longer know which way to go, we have come to our real journey. The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that sings.
Now is the time in our service when we speak the names of those whom we wish to bring into the embrace of this congregation. When the bell sounds, speak the names of those who are celebrating a joy or enduring a challenge. And if there are any entries in the book in the narthex, if someone could bring that forward, we will read that. And we'll also have a chance to check the chat for the Zoom. So.
Joanna Mason. There's names in the chat. Okay. I have names in the chat. And from the Zoom chat, Cindy, Margie, Dawn, Chris and Peter, Evelyn Sheridan, Florence Krenke, my daughter, Pawnee. All right. And in one voice we say, we hold them in our care.
Light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love.
I'm getting there. The Maples by Marie Howe. I asked the stand of maples behind the house, how should I live my life? They said, shh, shh, shh. How should I live? I asked, and the leaves seemed to ripple and gleam. A bird called from a branch in its own tongue. And from a branch across the yard, another bird answered. A squirrel scrambled up a trunk. And then along the length of a branch. Stand still, I thought. See how long you can bear that. Try to stand still, if only for a few moments, drinking light, breathing. So now we'll share some silence.
Three little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry.
Summer came like cinnamon so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete.
Maybe sometimes we've got it wrong, but it's alright.
The more things seem to change,
the more they stay the same. Oh, don't you hesitate, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely, sipping tea in a bar by the roadside.
Just relax,
Just relax.
don't you let those other boys fool you. Gotta love that afro hairdo.
Maybe sometimes we've got it wrong, but it's alright.
The more things seem to change,
The more they stay the same. Oh,
don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere,
somehow.
'Twas more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger.
When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you want to.
Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song.
No. You go ahead,
baby. Hey, sapphire and faded jeans. I hope to get your dreams.
Just go ahead, let your hair down.
You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
Thank you so much for gracing us with that. So, I particularly love that song. Actually, everything you picked is on a playlist already for me. So, this is my homily, and I've called it Holy Work. And I have two quotes here for you. The first one is from Edouard Glissant, who was a Martinique writer who wrote very beautifully The Poetics of Relation. We cry our cry of poetry. Our boats are open, and we sail them for everyone. Next one is from Robert Hyland. A poet who reads their work in public may have other nasty habits. I'm one of those people. I read my work and others in public, in private, and occasionally require my friends to listen. I do think poetry is a saving grace, a sacred enterprise, and a self-care package, along with many other aphorisms. It has saved my and other lives. Creativity, the arts, and a fully lived life in general have these qualities. However, I think poetry has several special gifts. I believe that poetry has more in common with the visual arts than with other writing forms. It often paints a word picture that may be pastoral, surreal, or abstract. Two, like the other visual arts, when I am lost in how to express a concept, a new way of thinking, I go to poetry, which can hold what I have not found in the culture. I can express myself in a new way. I also can point at the moon without having to say moon. And perhaps we can see it more clearly, or like a fable, more like green cheese. This helps us draw fresh insight. Once poetry and the visual arts have placed these new concepts in our joint consciousness, often they get further elucidated through academic examination. For example, Audre Lorde taught many things, including what is now in our culture called intersectionality. Audre Lorde, self-described Black lesbian mother warrior poet, stood up for all her multiple identities in every space she occupied. Kim Crenshaw then follows with her academic and legal exploration and development of the term. Audre defended the necessity of poetry for helping us reach these discoveries, and poetry is not a luxury. And if you haven't read this, I highly recommend it. It's maybe 3 pages, and I think it will set your brain on fire, honestly. This is part of the quote. Well, I've got sections of quotes from this. Poetry is the way we help give name to the nameless so it can be thought. The farthest external horizons of our hopes and fears are cobbled by our poems, carved from the rock experiences of our daily lives. She goes on. We can train ourselves to respect our feelings and to discipline, transpose them into a language that matches those feelings so they can be shared. And where that language does not yet exist, it is our poetry which helps to fashion it. Poetry is not only dream or vision, it is the skeleton architecture of our lives. The white fathers told us, I think, therefore I am. And the black mothers in each of us, the poet, whispers in our dreams, I feel, therefore I can be free. For within structures defined by profit, by linear power, by institutional dehumanization, our feelings were not meant to survive. To feel, and therefore to be free, is at the heart of what else is special about poetry. We cannot come to substantive decisions together without feeling. whether we would like it or not. If we are to dream our collective vision, then our passions must reside in the world we imagine. And in times such as these, I do not believe I could write anything true that did not acknowledge our feelings. I go so far out on this limb that I believe that the big decisions of our lives need to be made with our feelings. Our emotions take into account our thoughts, whereas our thoughts do not consider our feelings. Our minds can help us put into action, but they rarely provide inspiration. In Plato's Phaedrus, the charioteer is our rational mind, and a white horse our noble aspirations. The black horse is our desire. We cannot venture to fields not yet imagined without the stamping feet of the black horse of our desires. This chaos, this unforeseen new catastrophe, takes us to places we have not yet visited. Our minds may lead us to the steps or to warnings, but those feels, especially at times like this when we all need a bit or a lot of grace, they matter, they hold genius. And lastly, my activist soul in times like this goes to the poet heroes of past revolutions for clarity, for inspiration, for courage. So often they do lead the revolutions with the power to speak truth to power when others dare not. So often, too, they are killed. 14 poets in Gaza were killed in just the first 2 months of the current conflict. Ukrainian poet Maxim Christoph died as a soldier, and his poetry remains an ongoing force in the war. The Ukrainian Pen reports 95 artists were killed in the war as of December 23. Salvadoran poet Rocky Dalton returned to his country to keep up the fight and was executed in 75. Those poets who revolt in the everyday, also, like Audre Lorde or Martinique writer Edward Glissant, who wrote that first line that I read at the beginning, have been fighting for us the whole time. In The Poetics of Relation, he describes the boat passage during the slave trade as falling into the belly of the boat, but one that is a womb abyss that swallows them whole, and indeed may kill them rather than the open boat steered under open skies, looked for and expected. And so, in poetry for these times, I wish and affirm thus, in his and our honor, we cry our cry of poetry. Our boats are open, and we sail them for everyone.
Boy, am I in good company. The singing, the poetry, and that was a fabulous poetic reading. Thank you. I'm Janelle Moon, and this is my poem, recently worked on last night. As poets do, we keep nudging our work to be better. Nonfiction and fiction in these times. We hear only lies. We hold these lies disbelieving. The domineering master veers his story by getting too close to the truth and orders the smartest to leave only the thieves in his tower. Envy is a silent ember. It gnaws from the rim. It doesn't sense the chill coming. But before our flesh tears, we hold a white flag, and troops hurry through the snow to rescue us. But the thread of threat is so great, they can't march farther. Our bones rattle, and we with no protection, speak out. Yes, yes, we, the unguarded, rise up as unbended men and women who glide through knives, guiding buried truths forward on newly rounded corners. Thank you.
This is a poem called Hold Out Your Hand by Julia Fehrenbacher. Let's forget the world for a while, fall back and back into the hush and holy of now. Are you listening? This breath invites you to write the first word of your new story. Your new story begins with this: you matter. You are needed, empty and naked, willing to say yes and yes and yes. Do you see the sun shines day after day, whether you have faith or not? The sparrows continue to sing their song, even when you forget to sing yours. Stop asking, am I good enough? Ask only, am I showing up with love? Life is not a straight line. It's a downpour of gifts. Please hold out your hand.
So now we come to the point where we're at the invitation to generosity. Reverend Margaret Beckman reminds us that practicing generosity does not subtract from what we have, it multiplies the effect we can have in the world.
And a reminder that this month, the half plate that we share goes to the LGBTQ Center in Oakland because of all the many cuts Oakland budget has endured. And we all know this community can use all the help they can get. On days like these, when the rain won't fall, and the sky is so dry that even birds can't call, I can feel your tears disappearing in the air, carried on the breeze on days like these. It's years like these that make a young man old, bend his back against the promises that life should hold. They can make him wise, they can drive him to his knees. Nothing comes for free on days like these. But you can't reap what you don't sow, and you can't plant in fallow ground. So let us fill this empty earth with hope until the rain comes down.
In lives like these, where every moment counts, and I add up all the things that I can live without, when the one thing left is the blessing of my dreams, I can make my peace with days like these. Yes, I can make my peace with days like these.
Will the ushers come forward? Yes. Well, let us say together, though it doesn't seem, yes. Wait a second. We have hand signals at the back. All right. There we go. All come together to the work of the church, which is weaving a tapestry of love we call community. We dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings.
A poem by Ada Limon, who is the current poet laureate of the United States. A new national anthem. The truth is, I've never cared for the national anthem. If you think about it, it's not a good song. Too high for most of us with the rockets, red glare. And then there are the bombs. Always, always, there is war and bombs. Once I sang it at homecoming and threw even the tenacious high school band off key, but the song didn't mean anything, just a call to the field, something to get through before the pummeling of youth. And what of the stanzas we never sing? The third that mentions no refuge could save the hireling and the slave? Perhaps the truth is every song of this country has an unsung third stanza, something brutal snaking underneath us as we absent-mindedly sing the high notes with the beer sloshing in the hands and hoping our team wins. Don't get me wrong, I do like the flag, how it undulates in the wind like water, elemental, and best when it's humbled, brought to its knees, clung to by someone who has lost everything, when it's not a weapon, when it flickers, when it folds up so perfectly you can keep it until it's needed, until you can love it again, until the song in your mouth feels like sustenance. A song where the notes are sung by even the ageless woods, the short grass plains, the Red River Gorge, the fistful of land left unpoisoned. That song, that's our birthright. that's sung in silence when it's too hard to go on, that sounds like someone's rough fingers weaving into another's, that sounds like a match being lit in an endless cave, the song that says, my bones are your bones, and your bones are my bones. And isn't that enough?
Always fun to follow the poet laureate. Okay. End over end. For my friend whose husband died this year, and the one whose wife no longer knows her, and the families at the border or in hiding in the cities where they've lived and worked for years, and those whose homes have burned or flooded, and who have lost their jobs and their health care, and for the stranger in line behind me at the bank who said, out of nowhere, I just don't know what to do with all the pain. When the towers fell, when people jumped out of the towers and fell before the towers did. When your father died, when you leaned in through a car window to help a man who was lost find a street on what he said was a map, but instead of a map, it was a newspaper folded over his crotch, and he moved it out of the way. When a pickup smashed through the guardrail into the river, wheeled end over end, bobbing like a bathtub toy, before it vanished beneath a ragged circle of foam. When your best friend didn't run to Canada, but flew to Vietnam, and only his dog tags came home. When you learned that your cousin Billy, whom you'd loved your entire life, belonged to the KKK. And when, at 45, Billy shot himself with the .22 rifle you kids had used to blast bottles off the back fence. When the family went to back-to-school night and masked men took the father away. When the towers fell. When people jumped from the flaming mouth, trading one certainty for another. When the falling people grew wings and flew, when the towers rebuilt themselves sturdy and gleaming, when the masked men said it was all just a joke and took Dad to a bar for a beer, when the rifle bullet became a cartoon flag, bang. And Billy's wife from Ghana called to tell you their second child was on the way, and the pickup popped slick as a seal to the surface of the river, and the driver swam safely to shore. And the man who was lost showed you on his map the street he was looking for, and you knew where it was and could help him. While your father lived to a ripe age and spoiled his grandkids rotten, and the towers bloomed like peonies, lush and pink, and the flying people swooped and soared, turning end over end above the blooming garden of the city. May it be so.
Wow, thank you, everyone. That was amazing. Now for a few announcements. I have a little list, but also if you picked up a program, there are some announcements in here, and there's also more announcements in your Chalice Chatter. If you don't know where to find the Chalice Chatter, ask someone at the welcome table in Venti Hall when you join us for coffee and conversation, or here at the front of the pulpit with Emily after the service to ask a few questions about the church. And next week, I hope you will bring friends and family and stay for the Human Library, which will be happening here. Your social justice funds have sponsored the Human Library so that it could happen here. You get a half an hour to take out a book, a human book, and find out about their particular unique identity and ask questions and grow and hear new perspectives. The Circle of Hope book group is rescheduled to September 14th because the weekend they originally scheduled is the annual women's retreat. That's August 22nd to 24th. There are still ways that you can attend, so if you would like to attend, ask Emily. Patsy, are you part of that? Who else is part of organizing the women's retreat? Okay, you will find a way. Also, we need greeters and ushers for the next few weeks. We will actually train you so that you don't wander off after you've taken the collection. But if you are going to be at church, if you could come a few minutes early and greet people, please see Maria at the welcome table in Venti Hall and let her know. Let's see. Don't forget to pick up your t-shirt. If you ordered ugly yellow t-shirt or ball cap or other hoodie, Marilyn has them, so please come and get them. And that's enough announcements for now. Oh, yes, and there are wonderful flyers for the Human Library, so if you need to take one, please do. Right. And now,
Yes.
please stand as you are able or moved, or and sing hymn 131, Love Will Guide Us.
All right. As we return into the world, may we carry the light within our hearts, the warmth within our souls, the stillness within our minds, and the wisdom within our actions. May our harvests be as enriching as they are bountiful. So mote it be.
Poetry keeps the door open to awe and ensures that we will find our way through the broken heart field of wars, losses, and betrayals to understanding, compassion, and gathering together.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind, I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. I break traditions, sometimes my tries are outside the lines. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions.
If you know the song, please join us.
Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten.
Thank you guys for joining in. We love this song so much. Thank you.